Why are there not more people talking about haunting encounters in the woods? These stories, often dismissed as mere folklore, hold a chilling reality for those who dare to venture into the unknown. The woods, with their dense canopy and eerie silence, have always been a place of mystery and fear. Many have entered, but not all have returned to tell their tale. Lily was determined to debunk the myths. She had always heard the ghost stories about the dense forest, but Lily was a skeptic. She believed that these tales were just a product of overactive imaginations and a fear of the unknown. Her friends often warned her, but she brushed off their concerns with a laugh. She was a rational thinker, a woman of science, and she was going to prove that there was nothing to fear in those woods. One evening, she ventured in, ready to prove everyone wrong. The sun was setting, casting long shadows that danced on the forest floor. The air was cool and the forest was alive with the sounds of nature. Birds chirped, leaves rustled, and the occasional snap of a twig underfoot added to the symphony of the woods. Lily felt a thrill of excitement as she walked deeper into the forest, her flashlight in hand, ready to explore every nook and cranny. As she walked deeper, the air grew still, no rustling leaves, no chirping birds, just an unsettling silence. It was as if the forest itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The silence was deafening, and Lily couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She paused for a moment, looking around, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. Determined to continue, she pressed on, her footsteps echoing in the stillness. Then she spotted it, an old weathered cabin with a door slightly ajar. The cabin looked like it had been abandoned for years, its wooden walls weathered and worn. The door creaked as it swung gently in the breeze, inviting her to step inside. Lily felt a shiver run down her spine, but her curiosity got the better of her. She had come this far and she wasn't going to turn back now. Curiosity pulled her closer. She stepped inside, the air thick and cold. Dust blanketed everything except for a single pristine chair in the center of the room. The contrast was striking, and Lily couldn't help but wonder why the chair was so clean. She walked over to it, running her fingers along the smooth surface. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and she felt a sense of unease growing within her. Before she could take another step, the door slammed shut behind her, locking her in. The sound echoed through the cabin, and Lily's heart raced. She turned quickly, her flashlight beam dancing wildly across the walls. She rushed to the door, pulling and yanking at the handle, but it wouldn't budge. A panic began to set in as she realized she was trapped. The corners of the cabin seemed to come alive. Shadows shifted, growing taller, darker. They moved with a life of their own, creeping closer and closer. Lily's breath came in short, ragged gasps as she backed away, her eyes wide with fear. The shadows seemed to whisper to her, their voices a low, menacing murmur that sent chills down her spine. And then from the depths of the darkness, a deep, guttural voice whispered, "We've been waiting for you." The voice was unlike anything she had ever heard, filled with malice and a sense of ancient power. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, surrounding her, suffocating her. Lily's mind raced as she tried to make sense of what was happening. Was this some kind of elaborate prank? Or was there something truly sinister at work here? Panic surged through Lily as she rushed to the door, yanking desperately, but it wouldn't move. She pounded on the door, screaming for help, but her cries were swallowed by the oppressive silence. The shadows continued to close in, their whispers growing louder, more insistent. Lily felt a cold sweat break out on her forehead as she realized that she was completely and utterly alone. The shadows closed in, surrounding her. Her flashlight flickered, casting eerie shapes on the walls. The beam of light wavered, creating grotesque, shifting forms that seemed to reach out for her. Lily's hands trembled as she tried to steady the flashlight, but it was no use. The darkness was closing in and there was nothing she could do to stop it. And then she felt it, a cold hand gripping her wrist, icy and unyielding. The touch was like a jolt of electricity, sending a shock of fear through her entire body. She tried to pull away, but the grip was too strong. The hand seemed to drain the warmth from her, leaving her feeling weak and helpless. She could feel the presence behind her, its breath cold against her neck, with a final chilling whisper in her ear, "You're not leaving." The light went out. Forever. What happened to Lily? The question hung in the air, unanswered. The cabin was silent once more. its secrets hidden in the darkness. Lily's fate remained a mystery, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk in the haunted woods. The haunted woods keep their secrets well. They are a place of mystery and fear, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs. Those who enter do so at their own risk, for the woods have a way of revealing the deepest, darkest fears of those who dare to venture within, and sometimes those fears become all too real.